go do a walk around of the 2596, likes and dislikes of it. Where did you go? Hey!
Morning.
Took a nap too, huh? A lot of iron there to warm up. Still really, really cold. We should do a walk around of this machine. The likes and dislikes. I know you wanna.
Okay.
We're gonna be honest about it because there are things we don't like.
Yeah.
And there's things that we really like.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest thing is to talk about compaction. First off, everyone in the comments, and I seen some other farm on Facebook, I think, posted one, and it was like 50 comments of, oh, why would you want something? You're just compacting your land, and so concerned about that. And I actually talked to the rep, and the compaction on this thing, plump full, 140,000 pounds, right? Mm-hmm. Was 16 pounds per square inch. And he said, referencing also a Brent cart, but it was an 1100 VT model on floater tires, is 18 pounds per square inch. So more, hauling half the amount, way under half the amount.
Yep.
Is more compaction than this fully loaded. And to be honest with you, we didn't run around with it fully loaded all that often.
Which doesn't really surprise me, those numbers, because I mean we saw the tracks behind this, and you'd think it would be plowing ruts through the field for how heavy it is, but it floats.
It's unreal.
But then again, it's got what, 50-inch by 12-foot tracks, 10 foot of surface area touching the ground.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Or 10 foot of length.
I know they're 50 inches wide. I'm not positive on the length. I know they're the biggest tracks on the market.
Yeah.
Huge. They're look at that. So what is your favorite things about this thing?
Well, I'd say that's in the cab, the joystick.
Okay, let's go to the cab.
Help
having
me.
Flashbacks? Help yourself?
Where am I right now? There it is.
What's your likes and dislikes of the joystick? Because there's both.
Right. So,
and it wasn't just you, it was pretty much everybody that ran it had the like and the dislike of the joystick.
Yeah, so the obvious good things about it is every single part of that cart I can control from here without trying to fumble around while I'm watching it unload for the right hydraulic. I know exactly where everything is, whether it's tilting the spout, up, down, opening or closing the gate with the trigger, which you guys saw me use this throughout the season.
There's 4 functions that get used on this as unloading.
Yep.
That you would have 4 different remotes for, and it's all one.
And it might look like a lot, but trust me, once you get used to it, I sat with this in my lap and watching the semi or watching the cart do its thing, and you don't even have to look at it because it's just muscle memory after a little bit. So that's the good part. Bad part, I got big hands, so it works for me, but this will not work for a small hand. It's just, it's not laid out correctly.
What we seen was the trigger that controls the gate. Your finger seems to want to push on that when you're messing around more over here with the buttons, and just not such a reach for that.
What's the word? It's not ergonomical?
Ergonomical,
if that's a word.
And we have voiced our opinion to our rep about that.
Mm-hmm. Otherwise,
but it's still better than 5 remotes or 6 remotes down there.
Yes.
So
all you do is lock one remote in continuous flow, and it's ready to go. So that's that. Good and bad. Also, the Pro 700's use of the scale software, Uharvest, is really nice, which we won't go through it. But
with the 580 though, the Pro 1200 screen was a lot better. But that's the screen's problem, not the software's problem. The screen is just too small, so when you're like entering new fields, you have to page between 2 keypads, basically.
Yeah,
half your letters are on one page, half are on the other. That was annoying, but that's not the software's problem. That's the screen's just too small.
Yep.
So that was not an issue with the Pro 1200.
No, that was nice. But the software as a whole is really slick, easy to use. I could explain it to other operators over the phone to walk them through it. I mean, it is slick, so no complaints there.
And if the 580 would have came with software downloaded into the thing, when the track frame broke on this tractor we're sitting in, It literally would have been an unplug and plug back in, besides getting the joystick out of the cab, which was very easy, just plug and play. It would have been a 20-minute switchover.
Yep.
So technically, your tractor should have ISO bus in it. That one did not.
Right, because everything is stored on the grain cart.
Yep.
All the history, all the loads from previous fields they always stay with the cart. So
Which
any
is
tractor runs it.
Which is good and bad. It's good for that instance. It's bad for if you have the tractor in the shop and you want to get your stuff off if you have it unhooked.
We have it. We should get this off right now.
Probably should.
We'll unhook it for you. Which, speaking of unhooking, that brings me to another good part.
What's your favorite?
Second favorite. No more jack stands.
Hydraulic jack. That
Yeah.
is very nice. When that pivots down, it wants to push the cart backwards. So
Yeah,
I had
yeah.
to actually put pressure with the drawbar to push the cart backwards a few inches.
So
It should
what,
never.
bigger hydraulic hoses?
Hoses or cylinder, I'm not sure. I'm not an engineer. But that's a very minor thing. That's almost not even worth mentioning. So the 24-inch auger
Yep. Fed by
needs to be bigger.
everything needs to be bigger. Fed by a 22-inch belly auger. Run it on 10, and it just 3 minutes to fill a truck is too slow.
I don't even think it took you 3 minutes.
Maybe that was 2 trucks.
I think it was 2 trucks because it was ridiculous how quick it went. I don't know. We never truly did time it, I don't think, but it's quick. Like compared to the other grain carts that we own, it dumped way faster.
And
Especially when your transmission blew that code and it was spewing over the side. It really comes out, doesn't it?
I had almost forgotten about that. Other nice part, which this tool is used to detension the belts. That belt is what runs the belly auger, so you can release that tension and still run your vertical auger for if you get a clog or you plug it because you leave the gate open.
Yeah.
You just detension the belly auger, empty your vertical completely, retension, empty the belly and the vertical all at the same time, and wow, does that save a lot of trouble. It took a few minutes to do that.
Yep.
So that's very slick.
He nor I did that. It was, not going to say names, but Brandy. And as far as tracks go, loved watching it. You didn't get to see it from the cab because you really can't see the tracks all that well. But as a combine operator, you get to see how them tracks. And if you watched us through fall, he showed it, I showed it, how these tracks will not only oscillate this way, but this way, separate from each other. So if you're on any sort of slant, you're not gouging your bogey wheels into the embankment or going down the road.
Even the crown of the road.
Crown of the road, she'll follow true, keeps them really aligned. We never had to align this from the factory. Came from the factory, never aligned the tracks. They never even got hot or warm.
You just know they're going to last longer if it's
Yeah.
able to do that. Well, that's what I was thinking of, is this cart should always be planned to be in front of the other cart, if possible. So that this one's the first one to the next field to get filled up while trucks transition and we're waiting. And
Yep.
you guys are opening up headlands. We might be ringing a field where you need as much space, which is another huge benefit of this. When you're picture framing or opening up a field, you got so much room to make that full round all the way around where you can't turn around because you're taking 2 passes 60 feet at a time. So,
And that's something that this thing, obviously, just the sheer size of it, you're really limited on how tight you can turn. We bent the PTO shaft, which I believe we were told that they are coming with an update of that. It will be, these things have not been out that long, so anyone with a 2596, I was told, will be getting that update for free, and this cart will be getting that.
and it's only the 2596 model that's doing that, because that's the only one that has the
Redesigned
2 PTO shafts.
neck. Yeah. So that's awesome that they're going to do that. Warranty or not, that's going to get updated. I think we should put cameras on it.
Yes, you got so much room with it. I don't think we ever spilled, whether we were turning or unloading from the combine. The only time we spilled is when you overfilled it.
I did do that.
Yeah.
I honestly don't have too many bad things to say about it.
With the unload spout, as you guys have seen, you can pivot it left to right or fore and aft, however they say that, fore aft and away and towards you. When you pivot it to the side, trying to hit the far corners of a semi or something, the corn or the grain coming out of it kind of warps that
Rubber?
spout, and it splatters more. So I was struggling to try to dump it in between the straps on a semi-hopper trailer. Very minor, not a huge issue, but it's gonna
Should be more.
Right, it should be shaped differently, which I don't even know how you do that. But when you dump straight down, it fits between the straps, which I was surprised to see because there's a lot coming out of there. And it still would, and then you avoid the splatter of it going over the side of the trailer. So
That was one thing that Brian, our other cart operator, does not have the tilting or the pivotable head on the unload auger.
Yep.
He was very jealous of that.
Yeah,
Because on windy days, he would have it inches above the bows on the truck, and where Brian is just dropping it in and it's spraying everywhere. So that was nice.
Yeah, the auto greaser for the pivot points of the tracks, that was awesome too. I pushed in a new tube of grease. Well, you can change how often it greases. It was set up for every hour it would grease for 5 minutes. We slowed that down, so every hour it was greasing for 2 minutes.
Which I still think was good.
Right,
Plenty.
just looking at the grease points, if it's pumping grease out the sides. I mean, you know if it's too much. That, I don't know, I put in maybe 5 tubes of grease at the most the whole year, the whole harvest.
Which sounds like a lot, and it was a lot at first. Like
Right.
5 minutes every hour was like, it was dripping off of all the points. It's like, okay, we need to turn this down. But that's just what it comes from the factory set at. And I would probably run it like that for the first couple days just to make sure all them points get filled full, and then back it down to that 2 minute mark, my opinion.
But that's nice because those points are taken care of. You don't got to grease that. The rest of the cart for greasing is fairly simple and laid out pretty well.
And you don't have to do it very often. No. They all, and that goes with any grain cart. They say every so many hours grease it, but hours of actual cart running, I mean, every time you go to turn the thing on, it runs for a minute, 2 minutes.
No.
I mean, it all fall long.
Like I think it's.
I'm not telling you only got to grease once a year, but
for example, I think it's 8 or 10 hours they want you to grease the knuckles.
Takes a lot of unloads to get to 10 hours of unloading.
Yeah.
So I think that's our overview. Unless you got other things to touch on.
Oh boy, I don't know. I can't wait to run it again.
Yeah, like I said, it's on our yard. We've bought this thing. We all laughed, and it's just crazy when it showed up here as a demo. We get to run this thing. Thank you, Underfirth, for letting us be able to demo this thing, and I think it speaks a huge thing that we loved it so much, and it's not leaving.
Yeah. I'm glad it's not.
Yeah, me too. I'm glad we traded both of our carts off. They will be at Kibble Equipment. That's where they will be. We traded them in. So if you guys are interested in any of those, go check them out if you want to update your cart.
Or check one of these out.
Yeah. So I want to thank each and every one of my viewers and subscribers for watching. We're just a normal farm in west central Minnesota that puts out videos. I'm a normal dude, and I appreciate everyone that watches us. Anyways, we are gonna call it a day here, and I hope you learned something in this video. I know it was a little different with doing a lot of talking, but I feel like that thing is definitely worth sharing a almost full video completely about it. We really did enjoy getting to demo this thing. I am very glad and very proud owner of it. You will get to see it again next year, being awesome. And of course the big Swede in here sending it at full send the whole time. So thanks for watching. See you guys next time. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you're not already a Larson Farms subscriber. Please do that now. And don't forget to hit the little bell so you know when we post a new video. I'll leave you with a beautiful shot of this.